How are you, Larson?
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Glad you could make the trip. Glad you could be here. So Helen mentioned this story that sounded scary. You fell off a ladder. What happened?
I had about 5.5 years ago, I had a ladder collapse out from underneath me while I was working on a roof, and I fell about 1.5 stories face down onto concrete and broke every limb and my head and nose and everything else, and ended up in a really, really bad position. But fortunately, my head hit the ladder, not the concrete, and that's why I'm here sitting here with you. And was rushed to the University Medical Center and level 1 trauma, and they put me back together.
And were you there for a while, for a long time? In the
I was
trauma
there
ward?
for a while, yeah. I had a few days in ICU. It was about 10 days in the trauma hospital, 10 days in intensive rehab, and about 3.5 months in a wheelchair, and 11 surgeries and counting. So, but I'm alive and well, I'm upright and
happy about that.
Functional.
Yeah. Yeah. So Helen mentioned that you got a lot of support when you're there and you're recovering, you're recuperating, you're in the hospital, you're basically completely broken. And you had friends and family come and interact with you.
I did. 2, 3, 4 deliveries of multiple bouquets came to my room every single day, and by the end of the first week, we might have had 30 or 40 bouquets of flowers, and that really helped.
Aren't there studies that talk about outpouring of goodwill and things like interaction and even flowers that help in the healing process?
Absolutely. There's several studies that have shown that people that receive flowers, visitors, heal better, heal faster, have better recoveries. And when we got through that sort of first week, I got a little stir-crazy and needed to get out of my room, and we went around the halls, and as I was sort of being wheeled through the halls, we just noticed how many rooms around us had no flowers, no plants, no visitors, really no life. And our room was this jungle of joy and happiness and celebration of what was to come, and it just seemed very obvious. And I said, let's go back. We loaded up my wheelchair with flowers. We didn't ask permission or follow protocol or anything. We just did it. Yeah. It was the right thing to do, and it made a huge, profound effect on a lot of people right off the bat, that a stranger would come in the room and give them flowers with no agenda and no reason other than it was the right thing. The concept isn't necessarily new. You know, churches sometimes take their flowers to members, or you might get a centerpiece at a wedding. I mean, you know, the reusing of flowers isn't, it's been around for a while, but what happens to flowers after you use them or don't use them? And I thought it was something I might sort of get off the ground, and people said, yes, we'll help, and we started making trial deliveries and just saying, here's our idea, and because it wasn't based upon money or politics or religion or social causes, it was so pure and neutral that people just immediately signed on, and it just it grew really, really fast.
Where'd you get the flowers in the beginning?
The same place we get them from now. We source them from wholesalers or florists or wedding venues, memorial homes, special events, you name it. If there's a flower that's either unused or unsold or used and about to be heading for the trash, it comes to us and we bring it all to a central facility. We break everything down to its core elements. And one of the great things about Random Acts of Flowers is it's 100% recycling charity. So we don't really buy anything. We just use what's out there. The really dead flowers get triaged out and composted, and the parts and the pieces and the wire and the foam and the vase, everything gets broken apart. We rebuild it as a brand new bouquet as it walked out of the flower shops, and when that patient gets it, it's a brand new bouquet. It has a card on it telling us where those flowers came from on the card, so the recipient knows there's a touch point in the community, and we don't know who they're going to go to. It's very random for us. We let the caregivers, the nurses decide.
And it goes primarily to hospitals and...
Yeah, we serve hospitals, nursing homes, hospice care, and other community health organizations. But it's the people that are forgotten about in the healthcare community, the people that don't have a support mechanism like mine, people to sort of help them through whatever it is their issue is or whatever they're struggling to recover with.
Do you ever hear back from people who've received these flowers?
All the time. The best part of the day is when we get the mail, and we get the cards and the letters, and we read those. It just really reminds us of why we do what we do. It's cool. Exciting. It's a great day.
Any favorites? Any favorites that jumped a quick story?
Yeah, I know the moment that I decided I was all in and I was going to sort of abandon my career and focus on this and see if we could change the world with flowers. And a couple summers ago, I was at one of our partner hospitals, and one of the nurses kind of came hauling down the hall and out of breath. And she said, I have a 94-year-old woman at the end of the hall. She's been here 2 weeks. She hasn't had a visitor. I don't expect her to, live another week. She's not doing well. You got to give her flowers. This is great. This is a wonderful opportunity. And so I get this big bouquet of red roses. Knock on the door, and I say, I have a delivery for you. She looks at me, she looks at the roses, she says, you have the wrong room. I explained who I was. I went in there, gave her the roses. She burst out in tears, and she said, you don't understand. No man has ever given me roses in my entire life. you don't know what this means.
Wow.
But I walked out of that room, and I remember standing there in the hallway of that hospital thinking, we just fundamentally changed somebody's life after 94 years with somebody else's garbage.
That's wild.
That's fun.
Yeah. And Larson, how many people have you given flowers to?
We've made over 23,000 floral deliveries and recycled over 24,000 vases and counting.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a lot. It's a lot to be proud of. Quickly, the name of the organization is Random Acts of Flowers, and there's a website if people want to see pictures or learn more about it.
Absolutely. randomactsofflowers.org.
.org. Okay. Well, that's Larson J., the winner of this week's E-Chievement Award. Congratulations, Larson. Got a framed E-Chievement Award certificate for you. Good luck. Congratulations to all your volunteers, too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Larson J., founder of the organization Random Acts of Flowers, winner of this week's E-Chievement Award.